change their strategy. But what's happened has happened, and the big question is, where does No Man's Sky go now? I finally did reconnect with Sean a few weeks ago on email, and he said they're working hard on updates, and he said he's open to coming on this show later in October to talk more about what happened to me and to all of you. So I hope that's going to happen, and we'll keep you posted.
Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Legacy here, coming to you with more No Man's Sky news. Talking a lot about No Man's Sky this week, but this time, maybe big news, finally. So Geoff Keighley aired his new show for the first time tonight, live with YouTube Gaming, and he had a sort of Jerry Springer final thoughts moment at the end of the show where he sort of opened up about his interactions and his experience with Sean and Hello Games and sort of the history that he had with No Man's Sky. Threw in a bit of a Peter Molyneux reference in there from some of his older work that he did. And I think he had kind of an overall empathy for Sean and Hello Games while still simultaneously holding them accountable for the bad messaging. And really, I'm going to link the YouTube video. I'm going to link the video in the channel and in the description. I'm going to put a pop-up here with an annotation as well. Highly encourage you watch it because I think it's nice for somebody that's involved or closer to Sean than a lot of us are to really share some perspective about the experiences he had and some of the sort of reasoning behind these things, right? And that no matter what dream that you pitch, no matter how many people you get behind you, you are no more or less susceptible to failure or negativity or backlash from your fans when you don't treat them right. And a couple of things that I have to agree with him on is that Sean went way too far with his whole approach of keeping ultra secret about No Man's Sky. Really, he had a big picture to paint. He had this sort of really hyperbolic thing that, let's be honest, he wasn't entirely at fault at, because there was a lot of people in the gaming industry that were like, hey, ease up, settle down. This may not be what No Man's Sky is all about. And I have to admit that I was a bit guilty of it too. I mean, if you watch some of my most earlier videos that I posted on my channel, because really predominantly this was a channel created for No Man's Sky in a way, I had some pretty big dreams about what this game could do, not only for being an amazing game, but what it could do for the industry as well. I was really bought in with this small group of people sticking it to the AAA industry, showing big publishers how it's done, only to watch them get in bed with a publisher and sell a game for a AAA gaming price that ended up being a dud for a lot of people. And I look at Steam reviews, and Steam reviews, for instance, I don't really use that as a gauge because there's a lot of trolls there. There's a lot of people that are bandwagoning and things like that. So I think Metacritic is more of a better representation of what No Man's Sky is. That being said, PC version launched in an absolute terrible state, so that could be another reason why. But here's the big news. The big news that Geoff had to say that he has been in touch with Sean Murray, and Sean Murray expressed that he is open to showing up on the show sometime in October for an interview. Maybe don't get excited about that because we have no idea what that could mean or if he even follows through. But I can really see the silence breaking at some point. I can really see this coming to a head eventually, right? And somehow the chickens are going to come home to roost and Sean's going to have to own up to it. So I really think it really would be a good idea if this all comes full circle. This whole thing started on Geoff's show. This whole thing should end on Geoff's show. And I think that would be a pretty good idea, right? They have a pretty good relationship. Geoff played a huge role in introducing all of us to No Man's Sky on a night where we were all bored off of our minds and probably the worst gaming awards show in history. So I think it would be appropriate. I think it would be a nice touch for Sean to come down and sit and have an intimate moment where he just lays it all out. Here it is. Here's Sean at his most humble, and Sean was already pretty humble to begin with, but here I am. I'm gonna just lay it down the line. We goofed up. Here's what our plan is for the future. And Sean and Hello Games have some work to do if they want to win some loyalty back from the majority of the folks that bought into No Man's Sky, because let's be honest, No Man's Sky is a sales success. It's doing really good. Those folks are probably millionaires right now, but now they owe it to the game. They owe it to their brand, and they owe it to us. I don't want to sound entitled, but they owe it to us, right? As their fans, people that really got behind them. They owe it to everybody that got behind and got the message out, the folks that went on the internet and defended them to the detractors and said, here's what No Man's Sky is. And I really want to see them do that. It's about time that they do that. No more of the mixed messages. The game is basically fixed for the most part, unless you're a PC player. Who knows what's going on with that still. Let's get the message out, right? Let's get a roadmap. Let's talk about what's going to happen for the future of No Man's Sky now that it was a sales success. I have hope for that. I have hope for No Man's Sky. I have hope for the team, even though I despair a little bit for this game. But let me know what you think in the comments, and if you thought this was informative, a like would really help for the video to get this up there, and subscribe for further content coming down the road, reviews, commentary, etc. But otherwise, thanks for coming back, and see you later.